Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today what we are going to be going over is the 2020 presidential election as according to the predicted betting odds. So what you have on your screen right now is the current predicted betting odds. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at, what their characterizations would be on, the yet another political map simulator electoral map, and kind of analyze and see where, bettors are actually betting on and where they're confident that both Donald Trump and Joe Biden will win. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the characterizations of a majority of these states. So for tilt states, I'm having them between anywhere between 50 to 60%, lean 60 to 70, likely 70 to 80, and then 80 and up. That's all safe for whichever candidate. So looking at the safe states, the entire West Coast is pretty safe, including the state of Nevada. Nevada very narrowly is in the safe margin, but it still is safe for Joe Biden, which is extremely notable. I mean, if Trump were to take any states from 2016, Nevada is definitely one of them. Also, the state of Hawaii, Colorado, and New Mexico. New Mexico, a state that Trump definitely wants to target. Colorado, a state under 5% back in 2016. Now, not even considered for, a Trump victory, which is pretty insane. Next is the state of Illinois. The typical Democratic northeastern states. I believe Maine's first. I don't think they, statewide, they have it safe. Where else? Yes, and then, the majority, including the state of Virginia. The state of Virginia, a state that went to, George Bush both times, a state that, Al Gore couldn't pick up, John Kerry couldn't pick up, but ever since Barack Obama was able to pick up the state of Virginia, it has been staying pretty reliably Democratic. And that's going to be, no surprises in the 2020 election, likely. Now we are going to go over the safe Republican states. So again, around the same amount of safe states for the Republicans. The two statewide for Nebraska. There we go. I definitely, they are not as safe as some other Democratic states. The state of Missouri is likely to go Republican than the state of Illinois. The rest of the South is also likely to stay with Trump. The state of South Carolina, I think that it should actually be a little bit more Democratic. In my own characterization, I don't think it would be that safe, but yeah. I also wrote about the state of West Virginia. The state of Indiana, a state that Barack Obama won, not really in contention this time around. So that's pretty interesting as well. The state of Alaska, narrowly somewhat staying in the safe Republican column. And I believe that's about it. So now what we are going to be doing is we are going to look at the likely states for each party. So for the Democrats, they only have 3 likely states. And those are the states of Minnesota, Michigan, and New Hampshire. So these states, Michigan went to Donald Trump back in 2016 by a very narrow margin, now likely to flip to Joe Biden. This is definitely a huge blow to the Trump campaign. And also, states of New Hampshire. It was one of the closest races back in 2016. The fact that it is not really in play for Trump at all is pretty notable and pretty deafening for his campaign. The state of Minnesota, also very close in 2016, went to Hillary Clinton, though, and not really in contention for President Trump, despite some polls that have been kind of favorable for President Trump, even though he's not winning them. So now what we're going to look at is the likely Republican states. So these states include the state of Texas, pretty notable, the state of Iowa, and the state of Georgia. So these states previously, well, at least Texas and Georgia, not really contested in 2008 and 2012, and in previous elections prior. However, with changing demographics and Joe Biden's appeal to, the South and the Southern region generally, you have been able to see these people fluctuate towards the Democrats. You saw it with Beto O'Rourke, and now we're seeing it with Joe Biden. In the state of Iowa, it was a previously pretty solidly Democratic state, and now it's been fluctuating more and more rightward, which is not something that you can necessarily say about the whole country. Now we're going to go on to the lean states. So this is the finishing up the map. For the Democrats, they have 4 lean states, and these include the states of Arizona, Wisconsin, the state of Pennsylvania, and this is not a lean state, it's actually a tilt state, is the state of Florida. So, Arizona, previously Republican state, pretty solidly went to John McCain in 2012 by about 12 points. Something not really in contention for Democrats before, definitely moving more Democratic, and likely to have a Democratic senator, 2 Democratic senators now, following 2020. Yeah, definitely notable. The states of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, went for Trump back in 2016, now actually trending more Democratic in a lot of recent polls. Wisconsin likely going to be towards the left of Pennsylvania. However, it is pretty notable to see on how Joe Biden's really been able to pick up the numbers in states that Hillary Clinton lost. In the state of Florida, always contested. Trump, Biden's currently up. However, Trump can easily retake this lead. Now we are going to go on to the lean and tilt Republican states. There's one lean state. It's the state of Ohio, and then it's the state of North Carolina. So the state of Ohio, went to Barack Obama both times. A very red state. Not very red, but a pretty red state. I would say it would lean red. Likely to go to President Trump. I can see that. The state of North Carolina, a pretty hotly contested state this election. Biden is up in polls. Cal Cunningham, the Senate candidate on the Democrat side, and Roy Cooper, the current governor of the state of North Carolina, likely to win their elections. And, Joe Biden has been either on par with them or been doing somewhat worse. However, anything can still happen. Now, Nebraska and Maine, they don't really necessarily take into account. They do. So Maine's 2nd congressional district, likely to go to President Trump by a lean margin. And Maine's 1st, pretty solidly Democratic. This is one of the main reasons why Maine at large is going to be pretty solidly Democratic as well. We're also going to look at the state of Nebraska. So Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, pretty overwhelmingly going to go towards the Democrats. 66%, or 66 cents towards the Democrats. Definitely shows a pretty good consensus that the Democrats are going to win it. Nebraska's 1st and 3rd are also likely to pretty solidly go to President Trump. I think the 1st could definitely narrow up, but this is the current map. So this is the current electoral map as according to the predicted betting odds. So basically people would bet their money on who they think would win each state. And this is pretty favorable for Joe Biden. I mean, he won back the entire Rust Belt, flipped Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, flipped Arizona, flipped Florida, made it competitive in North Carolina, and Maine's, I actually did Maine wrong. Sorry about that. But, he made it competitive in the states of Texas, Iowa, Ohio, Georgia, definitely making Donald Trump a run for his money and actually defeating him. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me suggestions down in the comments below, and thank you.